Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Local Pundit. This is your Ring and Rant show. It is a Sunday for most of you, Monday morning for me, and we are up and away. What a difference a week makes. Oh, my God. That was a fantastic performance by Wrexham on the weekend, and it was great to see us get a win away from home. I can see Wayne Evans he did just try and call me and sent me a message. I will catch up with you later, Wayne. Feel free to jump on if you have time. And Josh is in the show here this morning. Oh, he's up and away. He's having a Sunday Habits vacation. How are you, buddy? How's everyone's Sunday going from Elizabeth? Hello, everybody. It is up and away. I will throw it straight in there because it is your chance to have your say. So I will throw the link in there if anybody wants to come in and have a chat. But it is a beautiful morning. I have actually come down the Gold Coast for a few days R&R, and it is a beautiful morning. I'm looking out over the ocean. Waves are rolling in. It is a cracker. But anyway, and what a great result it was this weekend. Oh, my God. It was just interesting. I did mention it the other week, and with the new players starting, Ben Sheaf especially, I think, in my opinion, he just makes so many other players look good. And his passing ability, the pass he did through to Kabore, and oh my God, Kabore has still got some speed that I didn't think he had that much speed, and one-touch passing. The goal that Windass scored off the pass from Sheaf, one touch to Kabore, straight into the centre, one touch from Windass into the back of the net. That was the highlight of the game for me. It was unbelievable. Would love to hear what everybody else thinks, so feel free if you want to come in and have your say. But it was definitely amazing, and it was a great way to turn around what had been a frustrating couple of weeks, to be fair. So, yeah, it's very, very good. So players playing well, other players looking good off, and probably didn't realise how much we missed Windass until you saw him on the pitch again, because his quality, that second goal that he scored, absolutely amazing. It was never going into the net until the last third of its journey and gave the keeper no chance with the curl that he had on it from that left side, curled it across the face of goal into that back corner. It was just really, really amazing to see. So, yeah, it was a great weekend for us in terms of a result, and it means that we now turn around and are heading into the Carabao Cup against Reading, less than 48 hours away now. We play them, so that will be another interesting match, and it will be very interesting to see the lineup in that team for this week. Before we actually, I'm pretty sure then we have Derby County at home this coming weekend. But back on to this weekend's match, just super, super good play. But anyway, and it looks like I have my first visitor. Welcome, Habits Vacation. I'll bring you straight in. How are you, buddy?
I'm all good, you?
I'm very well. Yeah, very well. So what did you think of the game on the weekend? What do you want to talk about today?
It was all good. I mean, the match overall, we won. There's not much else to it. We won the match. We did what we needed to do. I mean, I don't know if there's anything you saw that was very particular that you liked on there, because there's a few things I liked on there. Because I was on extra time, I explained some of the stuff on there, but I can go over some other stuff on there.
Yeah, sure. Highlight for me was probably the quality that Sheaf brought to the pitch in terms of his making other players look good, the way he distributed the ball. That was probably one of the big highlights for me. And obviously, our change in formation. What a difference that made.
It didn't really. When I went over it, looked at it, the initial formation came up as a 3-5-1-1. It came up as when I watched the match, which was interesting. But we was mostly stuck in a 3-4-2. It was a 3-4-2-1 or into a 3-4-3. So he morphed into that most of the time.
Yeah, it was a majority of box midfield for the majority of the game. We tend to morph more into that format. That's what I was noticing, and that definitely choked up the midfield and made it almost like Norwich just did not know how to play through that.
It was an open match though as well, so it could have gone either way. But they struggled to get through our midfield, which was something that they couldn't be able to deal with. So they had to go through our wings for the first time. So we finally have someone who has to go through our wings and don't have to worry about our midfield as much.
And then with Longman and Kabore on the wing, definitely meant that, obviously that was a great duel on Kabore's side with, is it Cordoba? I'll get his name wrong, but it was, it was a great competition there. And their winger did get exposed a couple of times when he went into attack, and then we hit them on the rebound with Kabore having so much space.
Yeah, I mean we're a threat now on both wings now because we don't have to worry about McLean being being so slow. I mean, I think this is what Parky wanted to do at some point, where he could just rely on Kakache and Longman on the left and Kabore and Barnett on the right, because they offer completely different roles. They do.
Yeah, well, exactly right. I mean, and the fact is, Kakache wasn't playing, so with still Kakache to come back, that does make us very strong there, doesn't it?
It just makes us a lot more threatening. I mean, you could just tell how different it was when we had Longman on the left. That you could tell O'Brien just didn't need to worry about having to go find cover for him because he was always pushing forward. He was always on the press. We had an aggressive press yesterday. We did so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
PCH Scuba. I'll get to the Reading. I know you mean the Reading game. I'll get to that in a little bit. Wayne Evans is saying there's no substitute for speed. And hello, Sarah. Good to see you in there. I would say Kabore's speed was, something that just caught Norwich by surprise on multiple occasions.
I mean, then there was also our midfield as well, where we was able to press much more aggressively with O'Brien.
Yep.
And same with Sheep as well. He was able to keep control of that midfield as well and find the passing channels. And so we were able to go through, keep pressing harder. I mean, O'Brien, because McLean wasn't on the left, he was able to press aggressively. He was always able to lead the press much more, which is something I've always wanted him to do, because that's what I could see him doing, just being that pure attacking midfielder that can lead the press. And he was doing that.
Yeah.
And then you have Windass, who was just hiding in the shadows between all over the place, just being there. He's like a puppet, just puppet master, just controlling everything where it goes. He's like in a command center.
I actually think, and I'm a massive fan of Kiefer Moore, and he's gone really well for us this season. He managed to hold the ball up a couple of times really well. But with the way that Norwich played, I actually think if Sam Smith had started that match instead of Kiefer Moore, we would have scored a couple of more goals.
I was thinking. No, go ahead.
Sorry, I missed you there, Habisification. You right?
So no, I was saying just go ahead. Go ahead. You always going to say.
Yeah, well, I just think that, there was a couple of times there. Well, there was one definite chance there that Moore had that he just didn't finish off, and I know he'd be kicking himself for it. I mean, he had a great game and he was really good, but I think that was I did notice that with their high press and the way they were playing, the way we were able to get him behind them, I think Sam Smith would have scored a couple of easy goals in that match if he had played.
There probably would have been. I mean, they serve different roles. I mean, Hardy would have served quite well as well, but I heard he was kind of injured, so we couldn't use him.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
I think really around the 70th minute, around the 70th or 80th minute, we should have subbed Kiefer Moore off and got on Smith to lead the charge, because I think Smith would have got some goals.
It's interesting that, and I'm wondering whether the reason he didn't do that is because Kiefer Moore won't be playing against Reading. I'd say Smith will be starting for certain, and maybe he thought, well, he's going to get the full week off and a chance to recover, and just the management of the whole squad over multiple games was maybe his thought process there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, probably that. Yeah, I mean, that would make much more sense using Smith for that. I wonder if Hardy will probably play as well because it depends on. It really just depends on the case of injuries. But when Kakashi is back, we're going to be a lot more threatening on the wings, even more. I mean, where we were threatening yesterday all the time on the wings because you can see us press all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I named them. We've got our two dogs we do in the midfield. We have O'Brien as our American pit bull, and we have Dobson as our German Shepherd.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It is interesting that, isn't it? I mean, because got a couple of comments here. Wayne Evans is saying O'Brien is fast, Sheaf is faster than James. Sheaf and both James are great between the ears, but you can tell Sheaf is just a slightly better quality player.
Yeah, I mean, he can pass through channels and spaces that were just incredible. That I mean, these are just high IQ. These are just high IQ passes that you could tell we could see the match in a different way than, let's say, compared to Matty James.
Yep.
And he was able to keep the pace up as well. He was able to pass quickly and crisply as well. Far better than Matty James.
Actually, you make a really good point there. And talking about crispness of passes, Lip and Sarah asked, Cabore's speed surprised me. Do you think that he was too fast for our team to get in sync with? What was the problem there? Look, I think that's just getting used to the way that players play. Cabore seemed to like to pass the ball quickly with a lot of pace, and players were having to get used to that. He did do a cross once that was just a little bit too quick for Kiefer Moore right on front of goal too, and it was a really good chance. But Cabore, and once they all get used to each other, I think it's just going to be a very deadly combination with Cabore down the right. Kakache comes back. I guess that means, and you just mentioned it before, like with Kakache coming back, does that mean Longman's immediately to the bench?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, you don't want to risk him too much. You don't want to risk Kakache too much, since he's just going to come back from a hamstring injury. So when he does come back, he probably won't come. He'll probably be subbed on just in case, just so to get him back into match fitness. Because if you try to put him on as the starting 11, it might rear up something nasty. So,
well, it's sort of showing. We're starting to see these players coming in now, coming back from injury. The quality that we have in the squad now is giving us options.
Oh, definitely. I mean, when you look at the way we were playing before, we was running with basically the legacy players that we had, and they weren't really up to the kind of scratch that you could see. I mean, you could tell they could not. They just didn't know how to deal with Cabore. They just couldn't deal with Cabore in any way.
No,
But also, it's also because of the quality of plays that we had on the pitch as well. So you could tell that when our tempo was really high all throughout the match, until we started to bring on the subs like Matty James and McLean, and that's when I noticed a quick decline in the tempo and the pace.
Yeah, it did allow Norwich back into it a bit. I thought the scoreline actually flattered Norwich. I mean, their first goal was opportunistic, deserved, and good on them for getting it. But we had multiple chances and could have easily been already on the scoreboard. And then that 15 minutes after half time, where we just literally, like, it was within 15 minutes we'd scored 3 goals, and we really put them under pressure, and that really
13.
made
it was 13.
13
minutes,
yeah. So, and it was just amazing, the fact that, I mean, we could have scored more goals beyond that, and they just were lacking options in attack, to be fair. They just didn't look like they could break us down. And that gets us onto the point, I guess, of Hyam starting over Cody. What did you think of that?
I think it was solid. It was just a solid choice to put him on there. I mean, Cody may need some time to just reset. But then again, when we started and as we progressed so on, we just haven't had the players to be able to utilise in the way that Parky needed to use them or how we need to use them to play as well, because we didn't have Kabore, we didn't utilize Longman on the left, we didn't utilize O'Brien properly, where he could just be able to play freely and press and lead an aggressive press. We didn't have Ben Sheaf to be able to have that wonderful kind of those passes through the midfield. We didn't have. We just didn't have that kind. We didn't have Doyle as well to be able to play as the centre back for that. I mean, everything worked a lot more better. We utilised our players properly, and we were able to use our newer ones. And we didn't have Windass at the time because to lead this more aggressive style of play.
Yeah,
I mean, we have been aggressive all season so far, but we were able to use our aggression far. We were able to lead a much more aggressive press. We were able to utilize it much more effectively because we had all our players that we needed to fit the system properly this time.
Yeah, Parky has been working with one hand tied behind his back up till now, and this could be the start of a really strong run for us. Hopefully, it would be great to see us get on a bit of a run. I mean, the championship is difficult, and there will be ups and downs. But if we, there's 3 more games in the championship before the next international break, and it'd be nice to see a nice solid run of these next 3 games with some good performances.
It would be. The one thing I found very interesting is that we've now got this kind of relationship working with Man City now as well. So, I mean, we've got Doyle with the what was it, a 4-year contract? Or was it a 3 or 4 year contract?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure the length of the contract, but keep going.
Yeah, he's got this basically this first dibs contract with Doyle. So whenever Man City wants to call him up, they get first dibs, basically. I'm sure we'll probably end up doing the same. If everything keeps going well with Kabore this season, it's probably going to be the same thing that's going to end up happening with Kabore. We'll probably end up wanting to keep him because we're going to need that kind of depth as well to be able to continue on during the season. I mean, if we can further develop this kind of relationship with Man City, because they've got a world-class quality, an elite quality academy system, as well as just the player selection that they can buy as well. If we can get our hands on that whilst we're developing our own academy and everything else, it'll be a good way for us to be able to save on costs as well as be able to get the kind of quality that we need.
Well, and our club in its overall structure with our academy and everything else that's happening for us, it would be an ideal scenario for us to create that relationship right now, because I mean, I know with the Doyle situation in particular that if they do want him back, we do make a pretty penny off that. And we may still be able to then get another great young player. Not that I'm saying I want that to happen, but it's a win-win for both teams, for both sides, because we get to develop a player for Man City. If he develops into what they think he can, they'll buy him back. If he doesn't develop into the level that they want, well, we've still got a top quality player and championship level, and hopefully helping us to get promoted.
Yeah, pretty much. They could set up that kind of like first dibs contract with the same way that they got with Doyle, and then or send us loans that they're like, we don't know what to do. Here you go, Wrexham. You want one of our loans? See what you can do. In the same way that we've got with Kabore. And so, I mean, the thing with Kabore, he hasn't had any time to really settle anywhere. He's just been on constant loan everywhere he's gone. So, I mean, when he was in the Bundesliga at Wolfsburg, he was basically not used consistently there. In the same with at Man City as well. So now he's finally going to have time to be able to be utilised properly in a full season as well, because he hasn't been used properly in a full season when you look on Flopmark.
No. I mean, what were your thoughts on him in terms of, his play I thought was excellent. His crossing, his vision, his ability, your thoughts?
It's different to what we would have when we have Barnett on. They're very different players, but they're both good in their own particular way. So when we had what's his name? When we have Kabore, he doesn't do those long over the top kind of. He doesn't do those floating types of crosses. He crosses them mostly on the ground. He does do those over crosses as well, but he does them on the ground where you can actually set up tap-ins, in which Moore was close to getting those tap-ins as well. So, but we got to the point where we can we're getting close to that. We're developing that. And whilst you'd have Barney, where he would just float them over.
Yeah, and I think that that's why I think that Sam Smith with Kabore, at some stage in the season it'll happen. With Sam Smith's bit more speed than Kiefer Moore, those balls coming in and possibly Smith running to the near post could be very, very dangerous for a lot of defences.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, we're much more dangerous now because you could tell yesterday we were all over them. We were mostly.
Yeah. Yep.
They just didn't know how to deal with them with either side of the wings. If Kabore was on the wings, if they tried to do a Kabore, he was too fast. And the same with Longman, he's fast as well. It's not as fast as Kabore, but he was dangerous still, and he was leading the charge because then they didn't know which side the ball was going to come from. So
that's true. We did try and come down the left on occasion, and there was a couple of chances there, but we were definitely more threatening on the right in this particular match. So just with the way that their defense is set up, and they were missing some defensive players in those positions, which we exploited quite well. The thing I did notice about Kabore is he wasn't afraid to then also take on a man instead of just sort of sit up and try and just get the cross in. He was willing to take on a man and get in close, get down to the byline and kick it back to, the Longman goal was a classic example of that.
Yeah, it was a wing-to-wing goal. It was basically so.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. He's able to do that thing, and you notice he didn't float it over. It was on the ground pass. It was.
Yeah. Yep. He trying to run himself into a position to set up a channel to make the pass. And that's such a fantastic thing to see. I really do prefer that, to be honest. I love watching that style of football. And I have put the link in there, guys, if anybody else wants to jump in. I see John's in the chat now, and Birmingham did get up with a 1-0 win as well on the weekend. So congratulations to them. But yeah, so it was an interesting weekend all round. I mean, there was one game actually washed out.
What was that?
The Blackburn v Ipswich game got suspended due to rain.
Yes, the pit. Have you seen the videos of it?
I haven't seen the videos yet. No, Blackburn got up 1-0, and then I haven't seen the videos. How bad was it?
The pitch was absolutely waterlogged. It was a completely waterlogged pitch, and the ball was just like when you see the ball move around. It was as soon as the ball was on the ground, it would hardly move, and there was no balance either.
Yeah, right. So it was fully waterlogged. So the ball was just stopping in puddles. Is basically what you're saying.
The entire pitch was waterlogged. The entire pitch was completely waterlogged. Everyone was slipping and sliding everywhere.
Wow. Yeah, I had a very busy weekend, so I didn't get to see that. I really, the only game I got to watch this weekend was our game. And I did that by the skin of my teeth. I was very tired. But, looking at, I see people talking about Callum Doyle's worth on FOTMOB being, 19.7 million euro, 23 million in your money. So in American money. But yeah, thoughts on Hyam this weekend? Habsfication, what do you think of Hyam?
Solid. Just solid, really.
Yep.
He was just a solid central. I was going to say midfielder, but he was a central centre back. So he was in the middle, just doing the work he was doing. Unnoticeable, but he was solid. Just completely solid. He was very defensive, kept us in check. Other than that, there's no real complaints I have with him. Kept us solid in the back.
Few fans were asking for him to come in instead of Doyle, and I wasn't one of them. I was thinking he would come in more for Max's position. So it's going to be interesting. What do you think this means going forward for Cody? Do you think that makes Hyam, like Parky's thinking of Hyam as that number one in that central position?
Possibly. I mean, it depends on the situation with Cody. I mean, the thing is Hyam is faster as well.
Yeah.
So he's much faster than Cody. when compared to in that position. I mean, you can tell how quickly he can track back, especially when that offside goal happened. So
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting, because the evolution of the squad now has just really changed the ability we have to do things in both defense and attack. But I mean, we especially noticed it in attack in this game.
what was that again?
I was just saying it's interesting watching the evolution of our squad and how now, with the quality of players that started on the weekend, how that's actually changed how we play and how much more threatening we look, especially in attack. Yep. Yeah, well, John's saying it's a straight choice of between Cody and Hyam, and he thinks there's only one winner, which is Hyam, obviously, in that scenario. But yeah, I don't know. Is there a situation where they're both on the pitch? Can anyone see that? And what's that mean for Cleworth, Brunt, Doyle?
I mean, in terms of central, as a centre back in the middle, I mean, it would really be Hyam over Cody for that, and Doyle and Cleworth would be pretty much in their positions as they would be. I mean, I can't really see Cody and Hyam being in the same back line. So
That's fair. I probably tend to agree with you there. Although if the only way I could see it is if Hyam slid out, because I don't think Cody could play out on one of the edges, whereas I think Hyam could.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying that will happen, but yeah.
I mean, there could be a situation where they could use him. I mean, I'm trying to think of a way, but they were thinking of a way of wanting to put them in. But the only way they would put them in is if they would put it as a back four. But then you wouldn't really want to put four like centre backs on there. You'd want to have like wing backs really, or anything else.
Yep, absolutely. Well, interesting. Look, we did create a bit of a chat there. Brunt certainly didn't put a foot wrong when he was on from Matty White. I can't see any other three than Max Hyam and Brunt starting next week. What's wrong with what? Because you don't think Callum Doyle? Because you think Callum Doyle's injured, Elizabeth? Or I mean, I think Callum Doyle would be starting ahead of Brunt. But yeah. So
I mean,
John,
I didn't see anything wrong with what Doyle did either.
No. I mean, and like, maybe just protecting him, getting him off at that point in time. He did have a yellow card at that point in time too, remember?
Yeah, that's really anything, but that's because the ref was being an arse. So.
Oh, I just lost Habisfication. He just dropped out. But yeah, and I think interestingly enough, and it is in the link there, guys. If you do in the chat, if you do want to jump in, I have put the link in there. Oh, you're back, buddy. You just dropped out there for a sec.
Yeah, I accidentally pressed something else by mistake.
Interestingly enough, I was just going to mention the Andrew C. Sheaf Tukaboro to Windass was such a beautiful thing to watch. What quality? Absolutely, it was. Interestingly enough, what's your thoughts on the Carabao Cup now? Would you like to see us continuing to go through there, or are you thinking it's not as important? What's your thoughts?
We should keep going because, I mean, it's good for us overall, money-wise as well. I mean, if we can go up against bigger players and cause an upset, that's good for us in terms of ratings. So that's there's always a benefit to it.
Absolutely. I think, looking at the players now that these players are starting to come back, I think it's absolutely, I'd love to see us get through at least this round against Reading. I mean, and, when I start to think of the players that weren't playing last night, I think that's going to make a big difference to the team that we can put on the pitch this week. And we have someone else here jumping in now, Mark Hughes. Hey, Mark, how you going?
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, straight in for you, buddy. How are you?
I'm great. I've just jumped in, so I don't know what you've been talking about up until now.
What would you like to talk about?
I went to the game yesterday. I'm in Nottingham, so it's only a 4-hour drive each way from me. So that was enough. Getting home at 10:30 last night, but a couple of players I'd like to highlight. I guess I don't know if you already have. Sheaf looks like a different class. We have had players like him, but they were players like Mickey Thomas, who played international football and who just, glided around the pitch. And, obviously Mickey went to Man United and Chelsea and huge teams like that. But that we were right behind that first pass he did for the first goal. And, talk about thread in the eye of a needle. And just, I like Matty James, but we can all see that he's just a bit too slow now. The other guy I wanted to give a bit of praise to was Brunty when he came on.
Okay.
Right at the end, there was a couple of headers that were quite dangerous, bouncing around on the end of our box because he's quite tall and he's got to be 6'2", and he cleared them, and it just little things like that because we were creaking at the end, which is no surprise. They were throwing everything at us, and but yeah, Brunty did well. I've heard anything about why
Doyle came off.
Yeah, was it the card or was he injured? I heard.
There's only rumours right now, Mark, but he did have a yellow when he did come off, so Parky may have been trying to protect against getting a red. It's interesting you mentioned about Brunt in the air. The one header that they had that it was a good attempt, it went over the top of goal. Brunt didn't get his head on it, but he did get very high, which probably put their attacker off. And he is, I think you're absolutely right there. He is very good in the air, Brunt.
He's good all round. I'd have even thought about starting him at wing back. I know he's not a wing back, but if we'd have had fitness issues with the other guys yesterday, I'd have put him in there because I think he can carry the ball forward. He's got a turn of pace. He's a good player. He's a clever footballer.
Yep.
I don't think he should be starting, but in our first 11. But it was just so good yesterday. We should never have been behind at half time. And we should have probably won by more than we did. 3-2 flat at then. Hyam looks like a Rolls Royce. I texted some mates earlier. I said Hyam's like a Rolls Royce, Chief's like a Bentley, and East is like a Ferrari. We've got a full car showroom out
there. Good analogy, Mark. Good analogy. Mark, your thoughts on some of the stuff that Mark's commenting on here?
Like what, such as what, mate? Some of the comments about Parky out?
Oh no, habitification. I was just going to ask what your thoughts on some of Mark's.
All right. Yeah, they're pretty much that's pretty much what I would agree with in terms of utilisation. I was saying it on extra time yesterday that Brunt is a much faster player than Doyle. I've said this. I think I said it 2 shows back as well, that Brunt is just much faster than Doyle, but Doyle offers a different kind of play when he's a centre back on the left. So, and you can see when the last play that happened, that goal that almost came through with McCarmer, you could tell Brunt was just right there. He just stopped it. He just stopped it there when Arthur did the last play. It's just a completely different kind of left back. And the same with with Hyam. He was just solid there, just keeping command of the
You just didn't, yeah.
Yep.
You
Comment
didn't
here.
really notice him. You didn't notice Hyam, which is what you
That's a
want
good thing
really
in a
from a
defender.
centre
That's a
half.
good thing in a
Just
defender.
so unfussy, in control, unflappable. You can see why I played all in games for Blackburn. Cody was creaking a bit, you know, the last few games. I'd definitely sit him out against Leicester. They'll be all over him. I'm going to that. That's a nice, easy local match for me.
Yep.
No.
I'm just very excited about seeing all the new guys yesterday. They all were what I was hoping for.
How do you feel about Longland being on the left instead of
Yeah,
McLean?
fine with it. Yeah. Somebody's pointed out that the one game that we played last season with him and Barney, we got beat, but you can't read anything into one game. No, I'm comfortable with Longman there. Yeah.
Okay. Now Elizabeth
You know,
Jones. Elizabeth Jones has
when he comes
said
back.
Ashfield
Yeah.
is. Sorry, Mark. Elizabeth Jones has said, "Did you hear Ashfield is out for a few weeks with an ankle injury? So it sounds like he's going to have a few weeks on the sideline."
Well, there was some talk yesterday that a midfielder was injured, and I thought it might have been Matty James, but obviously it wasn't. So yeah, it could
Good
be
to
him.
see. Good to see Victor back. I'm glad to hear out of hospital, Victor. James Lee thinks our best midfield will be Ollie, Rathbone, Lewis O'Brien, and Sheaf. What's your thoughts on that, boys?
Well, Dobbo's brilliant at the minute. Rathbone's going to have to take that shirt from Dobbo.
Yep.
He's probably a better player than Dobbo, but at the moment, I don't know what else Dobbo can do. He looks like, to me, a player who he's been waiting for this chance all his career. He's got better players around him than he's ever had before, and he's busting a gut to stay in that side.
I mean, he's been doing. He's our German Shepherd. He is.
Yeah.
Dobbo's our German Shepherd. I mean, he goes after it. You saw it in the last 3 games. He was tackling like a madman, just going after balls, just hunting them down. That's what Dobbo does. He does that.
He gave away a professional yellow on the weekend, which I was really happy to see him do at that point in time. It was a threatening bit of attack, and he made a professional decision to bring the player down.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was never worried. You know, we lost to QPR. It was like the Millwall match had been completely forgotten about. You know, people need to get a sense of perspective, and
well, I mean,
I'm glad to say most people on this channel have.
Look, everybody's entitled to their opinion, I guess, but I mean, it's interesting. We're 6 games in. We've got 2 wins and a draw. So it's a long season, but I can definitely see us on the upswing at the moment, which is great to see.
Definitely, and if we beat Reading on Tuesday night, then who knows? You know, Parky's got history in the League Cup.
It'll be interesting to see who starts that match. So, I mean, your thoughts on who will be starting?
I'll probably go with Smith. I'll definitely start Broadhead. Feel a bit sorry for him at the minute, but he'll have a big part to play this season, without a doubt. Definitely start Thomason.
Good to see him come on the pitch for this game. Great
to
see him get his run.
Definitely. Yeah. Another team's captain that we've snaffled. Probably give Scar the start.
Well, there's an interesting question. Okay, so I'm assuming Burton will be the keeper, and then try and pick your back 3. For that game.
Scar, probably the same team that played last time, really. Scar, who have we got? Probably going to have to.
Brunt starting.
Yeah, Brunt. Sorry, I've got a mental block.
Yep.
Brunt, Scar, and I'll probably play Hyam again. Actually,
okay. Habisification. Your thoughts on that? I disagree with that, but what are your thoughts?
I would go with Scar maybe. Give Cody some time to just reset. But if we need to use them, we'll use them. I would put Brunt on the left for that, and then I would put. I mean, if we have to, I would say put Max on there again, but then again, we're just trying to run him ragged. I'll probably just put Cody on there just in case. I don't know. It'd probably just be Max, Scar, and Brunt.
I would be I'll give Cody a rest. I'll play Scar in the middle, Brunt on the left, and I'll play Aaron James on the right.
Yeah, they'll probably do
that.
Hey,
I forgot he exists.
Yeah, there you go.
They'll probably play him. Yeah.
Yep. Wing backs for this game. You think? Try and pick 2 wing backs.
Barney.
Yep.
And probably Macca. I don't think Macca has been dreadful like some people do. He's struggling a little bit, but I'd start him. I think he will start him.
Habisification. Your thoughts on that? On that Barney and Macca?
So was that again? My earphones are just gone funny there for a moment.
Your thoughts on the wing backs? Mark's gone for Barney and Macca.
Yeah, I'd probably just go with that. I mean, it is. I would go with McLean since it'll be just Reading. But then again, think about it. It is going to be, if we're going up against Reading, they're going to want a giant killing, and we're not that club looking for the giant killing. We are the giant killing.
Yep. Yeah. But I think the bigger picture for Parky will obviously be the championship. I think he'd be more than happy to start Barney and Macca. But then it comes down to the midfield where I think Matty James will get the start. But who else have we got playing in the midfield? Do we think we've got to pick?
Elliot Lee.
Oh, good point. Yep.
And Thomason.
Yeah. That's fair. Yep, I'm happy with that. Especially if Ashfield's injured, I'm more than happy with that.
Thomason definitely start. I would play Ashfield ahead of Lee myself.
Well, Ashfield's injured, unfortunately.
If he's injured, yeah. Oh, of course, yeah.
Yep. And then up front, Sam Smith and one other. Who's our other?
Broadhead.
Okay.
And I'd give Broadhead 90 minutes if possible.
Okay.
He needs a bit of loving.
Interesting. Yeah, that will be interesting to see what they do there.
The problem is we don't know how to put him in exactly because he's a natural left winger. He is, and he doesn't usually play. We put him as an attacking midfielder on the left. We do.
They must have had a conversation before he signed about how Parky's going to play him. Because we don't play with wingers, do we? And he is a winger. But he's a sort of hybrid forward, really. So Parky must have a plan for him.
Yeah.
About how he's going to deploy him. So I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried about it. The key player for me right now is Sheaf and him staying fit. If he stays fit,
yes,
then we're going to look good for a long time.
God, yeah. He's different class.
Yep.
All the stuff I heard about him, it's true by the sound of it.
Oh, look out. I've got the man with the best haircut in history. Look at this guy. James, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, Ken. How y'all been doing, man?
Yeah, good. What do you think? How are you feeling after the weekend?
Oh, I enjoyed it yesterday. I didn't hop on yesterday and that because I was back and forth with another group that I'm part of. But my biggest thing was just the Kabore, like his pace just opened up so much for us in the second half. Like the
Yeah.
cross to from Shiv to him. Like I thought Josh was off sides, and I was like, oh no, he wasn't, because Kabore's guy had to try to keep up with him, which covered his rear end because he was way behind the back line whenever Kabore hit that cross to him. So like I just love that. If Moore isn't going to be able to score a lot for us outside of headers and just stuff like that, him just doing what Palmer did last year, which was just abuse defensive back lines, just physically beat up on them, I did not mind. He's the ball at his feet is not his strong suit. We saw that several times yesterday.
Yeah.
So I wish we could get a 6'5" guy that had, Holland.
Yeah. Problem is those 6'5" guys that can also play with the ball at their feet. They don't play in the championship.
Right.
You're looking for a Zlatan, basically.
They get a $130 million transfer fee from Liverpool for them.
Yeah. Exactly right.
But
That's
yeah,
exactly right.
no, that was the one, to me, that was the one change made it half, besides Doyle coming off to cover, make sure he didn't pick up a second yellow and get a red card. But
Yeah.
we seemed to get a lot more attacking right there. Like the first half, it seemed like, all right, we're just going to try to poke and prod and that. But at the second half, it was like, get the ball to Kabore, our fastest guy on the outside, and let him cross it in, because we've got somebody playing now that can score from anywhere, which Windass. And then Longman on that second was just, it was obviously meant for O'Brien, but hey, I'll take it. Like it was great to watch, because as soon as we hit them two, Norwich just crumbled. They played so soft, and they've been in the championship for how long? And they played that soft.
They're
I've
disappointing.
never seen. Yeah, I've
They were
never
scared
seen
of
a
us.
team play.
They were scared of us. You could see in the first 10, 15 minutes that Kabore, because he was playing in front of the away fans, and everybody was like, Christ, look at this guy. And he hadn't even got going. And in the second half, they gave him so much space, and he just said, thank you very much. And both the balls that he played in for assists were, I mean, they were really driven, no messing.
Yeah. Norwich is obviously
there was no doubt in his cross. He was like, here you boys go. Like, he didn't think about it. It was like, my job is to get the ball into the box. And he got it into the box.
Yeah, eat that up, lads.
And then he's not bad on defense. He's not coming back and covering on defense.
No.
He's an end-to-end player.
Yeah.
I really hope if we're in a good position come January, like say where we are right now, if we're in the 10 to 15 slot come January when the transfer window opens, I like to see us potentially go after another Premier League club youngster or somebody, and Kabore's like on the other side, because I love Macca. Okay, like my family, McAnally. Like I'm all about supporting the fellow Irish, but I'd like to have somebody with a little bit more spring in his step coming off the bench or taking that left side, and then having Longman, either start or come off the bench and cover us in cup. I think this squad as it is right now can make a cup run in the Carabao, and then in the FA, let's rock and roll and see what we got going on after the January window. I think we, as long as we can stay out of a relegation battle, I think this club needs to be a cup club this year, if you understand what I'm saying. Let's see what we can do in the cup competitions as long as we can avoid relegation. If we can stay in the middle of the pack, everybody and their mother
No
that's a
problem.
Wrexham fan will be happy just staying in the championship. But let's see what we can do as far as in cup competitions.
Yeah. Interesting. Couple of good comments here. Hardy doesn't go from starting to not be on the bench on the weekend without him being injured. That's pretty fair comment. Interestingly enough, though, I was happy with our bench on the weekend. You know, it looked still we had good enough threats there, and I did say it earlier. Sam Smith, I thought, would have tore that defence up with Cabore, the way Cabore was supplying the ball. I think he would have actually torn them apart with that high press that they were playing. We exposed that multiple times.
Yeah.
And Sirio Farrell says we paid good money for Kakate to play the left side. He just needs to get healthy. Absolutely. What you got to remember is and it's not. All teams are going to have injuries. That's the nature of football. Like, players get injured. It's how strong your squad is. And I was about to say we don't have our full squad on the pitch, but no team ever has their full squad on the pitch. There's always going to be somebody injured.
That's right. Yeah.
My thing with Libby, as far as trying to bring in somebody in January for that left side, is I think it needs to be somebody that's from the EFL system, okay, from the pyramid. I think Libby is going to take a year to adjust to the style of play in English football, because he's played primarily either in the A-League or in Italy.
He played in Serie A.
Yeah.
But their style of play in Serie A is a completely different style. Like, I watch Serie A too, because like I'm trying to see, like, all right, who can Wrexham potentially go and get, or who can, you know, my other club that is my family line club potentially go and get from Europe. And I watch the Bundesliga too for the same reason. You'd be stupid not to and go, okay, I'd like to see us potentially go and get this guy, or see, you know. I think it's going to take Libby a year.
I mean, the thing is that if you can get players from the Bundesliga, they're much more closer to the style of play that they play in England, as opposed to what they would be in Serie A. Because in Serie A, they're much more designed to be around a defensive style of play. They build up. It's not just building up from the back. They build strategically from a system of defense to try and get the goals going forward, as opposed to something like the German system under the Bundesliga, where they have a very strong high press system. They do, so they always press.
Yeah, I also wouldn't mind us seeing and going after some kids from Belgium or Denmark, or, you know, another of the the top 6 leagues in Europe. I'd like to see us go after maybe somebody in the 7th or 8th league that is a young guy that has a lot of potential.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, look, it was good to get the win on the weekend.
Yes.
It's good to see that the squad is threatening now against a team at that level that has literally spent the last 4 years in the Championship. The 4 years before that, it did the bounce between the Premier League and the Championship. Has spent plenty of years prior to that in the Premier League, as you know. So they've only ever really been a Championship and Premier League club. So to actually do that performance at their ground was really good to watch.
Yeah, one thing we learned yesterday as Wrexham fans is we've got a solid defense. We can keep opposing teams to 1, maybe 2 goals. I think yesterday that first goal for them, they were offsides. But anyways, I think we have the firepower, if Parky will let them play loose, to put consistently 3 or 4 in the back of the net every single match.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a problem. The reason why we weren't able to play the way we were is because, I mean, if you could see, O'Brien was able to play far more freely, and he was able to lead a much more aggressive press than he would have, because he wasn't having to play cover for McLean, because he didn't need to worry about him because Longman was there.
Yep.
And then we didn't have to worry about anyone going through our middle because Matty James wasn't there. That's
right. And also
they
on
break
your
our
point,
formation.
If Libby comes back, we don't have to worry about covering for Libby. You know, the one thing he's good at is being, you know, on defensive cover. So it's just, let's attack. Let's when we have the ball in our possession, let's go ball to the walls. I'm not worried about having possession percentage or possession number until we are firmly in the lead, and then we can play keep away the last 10 minutes of the game. I don't want to park the bus the last 10, 15 minutes of the game, but I definitely would like us to hold on to possession and not just be so helter-skelter trying to go forward that we screw up and expose ourselves.
Fair comment. Fair comment.
Okay, guys.
We've been going for an hour, so I might get you guys to give me your last comments because I'll get us out of here, and I do have to get to work, so I'll go round. I'll go round the horn. I'll start with you, Haversification. Final thoughts? Did you want to talk about how we went on the weekend, or do you want to talk about coming up? The floor's open to you. Whatever you want.
I hope we just do well in. The weekend was good. I mean, it was all good. I mean, I hope we win the Carabao Cup. Not the Carabao Cup. Just win the match in the Carabao Cup so we can go and face them against some Premier League to just test ourselves against them. So we can sneak in a win. That's about it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, on that bombshell, we'll see you later. Over to you, Mark.
When the fixture list was announced, I saw Leicester, Derby, Birmingham, Stoke, one after the other, and I thought, Jesus Christ, this is the big time. These are all teams within an hour of where I live and pretty easy to get to from Wrexham. We'll take big followings to all of them, and we're back in the big time, and fear no one. We showed it yesterday. We can go to other teams' ground, Millwall, Preston. We can't that. I know it's a different 11, but we went there and put 3 past them. We're at home in this division, and bring it on.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thanks, Mark. We'll see you again next time. Feel free to come back. James, over to you, mate.
I want to see us put in a squad that is definitely capable of blowing Reading out of the water Tuesday night, and then I would like to see us put the boots to Derby next weekend, and let's get this momentum rolling again. We kind of lost it here at the beginning of the season, but let's get this ball rolling again, and let's be a cup team this year, and let's make sure we stay well above the relegation battle and build for next year, and let's see what we got.
Fair enough, mate. Good to see you again.
All right, brother.
And guys, so there you go. That was your Ring and Rant for today. Good to see a few people coming in, some new faces, Mark, and obviously James and Haversification. That was fantastic. Yes, Elizabeth, I do love this. Give it a like on your way out, guys. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you feel like becoming a member, we'd really appreciate that. We do have upcoming shows. So tomorrow you'll get a Breakfast Club from Josh. He's on his way back from his work trip, and that is really appreciate that from him. So we'll have that, and then we're less than 2 days away now from kickoff for our Carabao Cup against Reading, where you will have game day build-up, you will have your watch along. So looking forward to that. We've got a great win on the weekend. Let's see if we can continue that momentum. And on that bombshell, we will see you all again soon. Have a great one.